Investment requires having several financial portfolios. Our guest is a money behavioral strategist. She guides you to invest your money rightly as a first-class graduate from Nigeria's prestigious Covenant University. Tolu Dima Okoje's model of helping the next generation investor stand out in her craft makes her unique. Tolu in this conversation shares more insight on how young people can save and invest. Hi everyone, welcome to the Breaking the Coconut Show. So my name is Charles Umi, and today we're doing something different. We figured out that all of us have money, but somehow we we have someone that is a money behavior coach that would help us either spend it wisely or figure out how we've been spending it. So hi.
Hello. A whole lot more than that. But okay. Hi, Charles.
So good to meet you. So who are you?
Okay, so my name is Tolu Dima Okoje. I'm a money behavior strategist, and what I do is I help people, typically entrepreneurs, but generally anyone, to create wealth independent of your current income source. So that could be your business if you're an entrepreneur, that could be your salary if you're a salaried person, or both. But the whole idea is that single source of income, we have to do something about it, because if something happens to it, you're in trouble.
When you say trouble, that's even scary on its own.
Yeah, because it happened to me. So, and that was literally the genesis of my career as it were in this part.
So what was your journey like?
So newly married, 1 year in, my husband got that letter that we don't like to get. They closed down his division where he worked. He had just changed jobs. And we were the breadwinner was out of work for a month. Lucky for us, within 24 hours of getting that letter, I got another letter where they said, "We have been looking for you, come!" And
Not everybody gets that chance.
not everybody gets that chance. But more importantly, we had the mortgage over our heads. So within that 24-hour crisis period, it was literally like, what's going to happen at the end of the month when we have to pay this and we can't? So that was like a big alarm bell for me. Like, we were happy, like, hey, God has covered our backside, excuse the language. Yeah. But it could have gone worse, and it did a second time. But story for another day.
Okay, so that was it.
That was literally what precipitated it.
So how did you start?
So prior to that event, I had, where I was working at a multinational, and I was lucky enough, because they had no business doing that. They got a personal finance expert to come talk to us, which we were the entry-level graduates at the time, to talk to us about money. And it resonated with me so well, because at the time, too, my mom was struggling with her finances in her business, which is also the reason why I'm passionate about entrepreneurs. So it resonated with me, and I volunteered. I remember after the session, I went to meet him and said, "What you're doing, I love it, resonates with me, and I think a lot of people don't understand money, because I can see this with my mom, where she's making all this money, but she can't seem to find it." And I volunteered with him, trained under him, started training with him to other, companies, multinationals and the likes, and individuals. And literally that's how, I just realized I'm really interested and excited about this, and it becomes something that I do.
No, you're having fun with this, and you're not even blinking.
Yes, because, like I said, I'm so happy just being able to help people in this aspect, because we all forget how money is almost as important as the air we breathe. You can't get to where you're going to without paying for money, for a cab, for a bus, for the fuel in your car. When you get home, you think you have not spent money, but you've actually spent money before for your electricity, for your water, for everything. So it's actually a part of life. In fact, money should be a life skill we should be learning, because it's so important that from the beginning to the end, whether you're involved or not, money is involved.
Money is involved. Mm-hmm. Now, for this era, what are your key insights? This is like a new season where people are. One of the challenges we have is that with your phone and automation, you can easily spend without knowing you spent.
Honestly, I don't think there's a better time to be alive, because technology really has facilitated so many things being simple. Like something as simple as a direct debit standing order with your bank, saying every month you're getting paid on first, say latest by the second or third, have a standing order that every second or third move money from this account to another account. Okay, there are apps now such as FindRich, for example, which you can use to actually have a budget. What I love about FindRich, for example, is that you don't necessarily even have to input things into it. It's so smart that just by getting your SMS notifications that you've done a direct, you've used your ATM card to buy XYZ, the app is so intelligent that it's able to pick and say that you spent this thing on food. So it can even help you categorize it, then leave the other parts that it's not clear about for you to categorize. So you can actually say that I have spent about 272,000 on credit this quarter. What is that about? Okay, so that's one example of technology helping make your money management easier. There's something else called the piggybank.ng. I like them again because they're a different way of saving, almost like a better way of doing a standing order. Because you can also do a standing order there, for example, and let it know on so and so day, take money out of my account. You can have a target and say, okay, I want to pay for my rent and take this amount of money out of my salary every month. This is what I tell people that default on rent. That this is how you can tell if you can afford something. If you can't take a tenth of it over a 10-month period from your salary, then it's already indicating that you cannot afford that. So piggy bank can help you save towards your rent, towards a wedding, towards anything. And the good part about it is they've been able to get the kind of return you get in your treasury bills on your savings, even with that. Okay, so technology. There's no better time to live. Technology is really making it easy if you're really interested in doing something about your money.
No, like while introducing, you said you are the money behavior coach. So it's obvious that the behavior drives every other thing. So what has been the pattern for people that have been like your clients? What's been that your current pattern of young people and money?
With young people, their profile tend to swing. So at my academy, the Money Map Academy, we have something we call the MBQ, Money Behavior Quotient. And we have 4 key money behaviors. The spendthrift, aka the prodigal child. The hoarder, aka the person with one talent. The mismanager, aka the servant who did not know where his oga's money was. And we have the investor, aka the person who doubled his 5 talent to 10 talents. Who doesn't want to be that person? And most young persons tend to swing anywhere between spendthrift more times than not because of the entitlement mentality. Mom is giving me money, everybody will give me money, or now I've got a job, so someone should pay me because I've suffered 5 years and all that. Or depending again on your psychoanalysis, but basically what you've been through, some people are hoarders where now that I've got this money, I want to just save, and save. So that tends to be the profile of most young people more times than not. Obviously, it's not like a one-size-fits-all, but in terms of going through the money behavior, most young persons tend to swing anywhere in between those two.
And I can remember, I think I've been in your class once when it comes to the hoarders, and one of the challenges of the hoarder is that you said the hoarder hoards and someone comes and takes it from them.
Because there's no purpose or goal for the money more times than not. You know how someone has always wanted to borrow from you? Because you are the one saving it now. They know that you save money, you don't know what to do with it. So they now have a need for money and you have it sitting ready doing nothing. Why shouldn't they borrow it?
One more clear thing. We are the feedback with millennials. I'm more interested in them is that many of them are millennials would rarely spend on structures and would rather invest in things that might not make too much of sense. Aside this, what has been like your own key or remedy for those patterns with young people spending? Because it's obvious that there's a pattern to all this and there's also a way out. For most of them listening that they found themselves with this your diagnosis, how do you think is an easy way to behaviors are not stopped in one day? How do you think they could easily gradually get out of that pot and get to the next one?
I'm glad you've acknowledged that behavior is not a one-day thing. Because I think that's the bigger problem when people think I've gone for one thing, one program or whatever, and in 24 hours we expect to be a changed person. Even when we get born again as a prayer, if you're a Christian, you find that it really is a journey of change. So for most persons in that bracket, the more important thing is to actually have a goal. If you don't have a focus, you're going to struggle with why you're doing what you're doing. Because the easier thing, that's the reason why most of them are spendthrifts is everybody has an iPhone, so why shouldn't I? And it's usually a short-term, in fact, not even short-term, immediate-term thing. Like, I'm just looking at how I'm going to make some money and quickly get from 1, 2, 3 uncles, aunties, and get a phone here. But if you're focused more on, you know what, I think I only want to work for 20 years, and after that, I can tour the whole world. That might be more exciting to someone. For most persons, like, let me just make money and blow, yes. But you can see why it might be harder, because for most young persons, it's almost like I've been caged all my life. So now that I'm free, I really want to be free. But you want to be careful, and that's the problem with the prodigal child. He's in a hurry to get his inheritance. In fact, I keep saying that the father of the prodigal child is very lucky that the son did not kill him because the boy couldn't wait. You know, he just wanted it now. And unfortunately for him, and that's what happens to most of us, we go through that wasting money, wasting assets, wasting time before we realize that we need to think a little bit more long term than short term. So it really is a journey for a young person to actually see that if you want to be like this Dangote and Co, it's not a one day, next week. You need to be thinking more long term. I always say that with Dangote, when it comes to some of us 30 years ago, we're probably wondering, who is this guy? But today now, if you see a missed call and the guy said Aliko Dangote, you know the behavior is different.
Tolu, do you believe money is a spirit? Why are you laughing? It's a simple question.
I don't think so. I really don't think so because, I think we're giving it a little bit too much credit than, in fact, we're giving way too much credit than it is. It's essentially a piece of paper that is printed by a government saying it has, certain value vis-a-vis certain indices. But the point is, no money at no time talks to you and is looking at you and saying that if you don't spend me, you will die. Or if you don't, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's more your own loss. It's more the fact that you want that bag. So now you are now desirous of money just to be able to meet that need. There's no spirit. The money is not the spirit. The money is not the one talking to you. You're the one that lacks the self-control, the self-discipline for you to be able to stop yourself from doing something. So there's no spirit to money. Whatever, we like to say it because it makes us feel good and feel like we're powerless and helpless. But the truth is, I will bring out a piece of note now and put it right here. And the truth is that thing is not doing anything.
So there's no village people. It's just completely what we think.
More times than not, no, there is no village people. It's unfortunately part of the problem with being financially irresponsible and not accountable. We want to hold someone else responsible for the problem. We want to make sure someone else is the one that should bear the consequences. You are the one who is responsible for the mistakes you make. If someone is calling you, for example, for the village, I always tell people, you are not obliged to. You can quote it however you want to, but the point is, if you die today, they will find somebody else. So there's always going to be another alternative. And I'm not saying do not help people, but do not, it's part of the syndrome of one of the behaviors in the NBT.
Because somehow, I think in Africa here, I think our extended family is part of our responsibility.
That is the perception, that is the expectation, that is part of the problem because, it's okay to help people, but sometimes we enable people because you will find that some of these family members of ours are fully dependent on you now. They don't even want to work now because they have a mugu, aka you, however you want to call it, that they only have to say one or two sub-stories and you're dropping. This is different from a case of someone that you're paying for the school fees and all that. Yeah. I'm talking of persons that, if you look at it, you see a pattern of they're always asking for a random thing, and when you go check out what they said they needed the money for, it wasn't used for it. And more times than not, you find that. With most of the clients I work with, in fact, one person actually realized now that, I believe this person knows the day I'm paid because he calls always on the 24th. He has found out that this institution pays me on this day. So he greets me on 23rd, and 24th he's calling me because he knows that I've gotten paid.
That's being unfair to someone that is genuinely asking.
So that's why I said, some of us are not actually, it's because we have money. I always tell people,
True.
When you don't have money, you will say, sit down, let's look for another way. But when you have money, you throw money at the problem.
So you believe we've been throwing money at the problem?
It's part of the reason why some of us are not as, what's the word? For me, we're not sweating our assets in terms of, you can do so much more, but really, it's like the oil problem. Why should we grow the other industries where what we have to do is drill oil and sell it and we make dollars? Why should we grow the service industry, the agricultural industry? Why should we bother? It's too much of a stress because it's easy there. So it's the same reason why Nigeria is generally a mono economy. We're not sweating the other assets because there's an easy access, money to throw at the problem.
For people that want to invest, this is your 12. Where is the best place to throw in their money?
So there's a reason why when you Google this, there's a host of questions that I asked. And I'll explain why. Because people keep saying that nobody wants to tell us where to invest. It's because someone who is 70-year-old, and no, 70 is not a good age, my dad is 70. Someone is 85-year-old and ready to, might be kicking the bucket soon enough, will have a different, think about it, true. A different investment profile compared to someone who is about to retire, compared to someone whose children are about to enter university, compared to someone who is just getting married, compared to someone who is in university. if you really think about it, you see that what they're investing for is different. So would it not be wrong for you to tell the person who is 85 to invest, give a blanket, investment option? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's why typically when you go to an investment house or you consult an investment advisor or financial advisor or whatever it is, they will typically ask you for your profile, your age. Are you married? Do you have dependents? What's your debt profile? Because, for example, if you have a debt of 20 million and your annual income is 10 million, our priority is to see how you can reduce your debts.
Yep.
Because there is some element of risk to investing. But that aside, and that's very important, that aside, there are a lot of investment instruments out there. Again, there is nothing typically wrong with the investment. It is your understanding of the investment that can be the problem. For example, people invest in real estate every day and they make money, but some people still invest in real estate and they lose money. That's not correct.
True.
More times than not, it's the lack of information, the knowledge, or how to apply it that has impacted the result we got. Okay? But investment in real estate is a no-brainer, generally speaking. Not everyone can access it, obviously, but still, it is an investment opportunity out there. Stocks, for example, investing in stocks, I always tell people there's really no big deal to stocks, is that you don't understand it.
Yeah.
What is a stock? A stock is a business that exists that has decided now that, you know what, we want to do a whole lot more. So let's share some of the ownership with people on the street like Charles and Tolu. Now, if that business is a good business and there's a lot of work that goes into that, chances are they will sell what, if you, for example, if you're invested in the Apple stock or the Amazon stock or a Dangote stock or say Unilever stock or GTB Zenny stock, those kind of stocks. And I'm not recommending, by the way.
Because you ought to be careful about it.
Yes, exactly. You understand.
Yeah.
So you say, have they been able to pay dividends, which is your return on investment? Have they been paying dividends consistently? Usually you see that more. With established countries. Are they a growing business? Are they making money but they're plowing it back? A lot of things go into that. But all things being equal, by the time you start earning your dividends on your stocks, we're about to enter dividend earning season now. Yep. It's an investment for you. For some of them, the value of the stock increases because we're seeing that this business is able to do more, the capacity is bigger, so obviously it's more valuable, and that's why the stock prices rises. A lot of people don't understand, they just say the price is rising. What's triggering that? What's making that? Is that real? Is that false? Is that inflated? You don't know. So and sometimes it's the reason why some people are caught on the wrong side, and others are making money, so it looks like it's not for me. It's because you don't understand it.
Okay.
I don't know if you see where I'm coming.
I know where you're coming from.
The more popular investment opportunities like investing in treasury bills, which is basically lending money to the government. The risk is next to nothing because it's the government, it's backed by the fate of the government. Mutual funds, which, there are quite a few from notable companies. Again, you want to be careful with the company you're investing in because at the end of the day, you are more times than not investing in a business. That's actually what I say. You're investing in a business. It's just what type of business? Is it the business of real estate, the business of manufacturing, the business of trading, business of trading commodities, or whatever it is, currencies and the like.
Okay, good. So, so that's your own feedback to us if you want to invest.
Yes, so first your profile, your age, debt, your dependents, etc., etc. Then your goal, what it is you want to achieve, and then look at the different investments available. Try and understand it. Then marry which investment will help you achieve the goal you want. Because even though we have the same age, might have the same profile, you might be targeting masters. I'm targeting maybe a car. So the way we might go about investing might be different. So you see how you don't want to use what goes for the goose, we go for the gander.
Thanks, Tolu, for sharing your own time. Thanks for giving us that little tip on money so we know how to behave when we see money next time. Tolu, can you say breaking the coconut in your own dialect? That's not too much of work. That's simple.
I'm trying to remember the name of the Yoruba word for coconut. What's the word? Oh my God. Yes, that's it. So breaking the coconut. Kafo agbon. Let us break the coconut.
Yeah. Breaking the coconut.
Kamafo. No. Kamaf. Why are you trying to embarrass me on TV? But you get the point. Kafo agbon.
Sometimes you can have money idea, but you can't have to.
Hey, I didn't say I'm an expert at languages, and especially not mine. So I'm good.
Okay, cool. You're going to break a coconut for us. Finally.
Oh, okay.
There's a skill around it. Some people look at it and know where to hit.
Yes, exactly.
And some people
keep wasting their time around it.
Okay.
So it's assumed that you'll be one of the two. so take this is your 2 and this is your coconut. So let's see how. Okay, Tolu, it's okay. You broke it.
You sure? You sure? Am I done?
You're done.
I
You're
want
done.
to take this thing out.
I'll take it out. but it's good. It's good having you, Tolu. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Man.
Really glad to be on the show.
So this is yours. This is yours.
Oh,
So on to you.
Thank you.
Is
Healthy
it?
stuff. Thank you.
So this is for you.
What's this now?
Now, we like
Oh,
the
wow.
expression on your face.
You know, I've always wanted one of these.
See, sometimes we know what you want.
Thank you.